Hey guys, it's Scott again with another quick how-to video. Today what I'm dealing with is my dryer stopped working. It's weird. It won't turn on with the push to start switch, but if you turn the timer on, you can hear it on. And if you look down in here, the heating element's actually working. Look how hot that is. So that's okay. So with dryers, there's not a lot to them. I mean, I've never worked on them that much, but I know there's a few fuses in them and the belt and things like that. I'm just hoping it isn't the motor or the actual timer. I'm thinking it could be this, so I'm going to test them. I'm going to test some of these different fuses and circuits so I can narrow it down to what I think it might be. So I'm going to real quick show you how to do that. The first thing is unplug it, of course. You don't need to be getting shocked. I'm going to take out the vent, dust vent. Then I'm going to take off these two screws here. And then this I should be able to lift this top part up with maybe a putty knife so that I can first check the belt to see if that's broken. So I'm just going to pop it up with a screwdriver. Just loosen it right there. And I did this side already. Let's lift it up, see what's going on. Well, there's the belt. They're very small. That's tight, it's not broken. It's spinning. So now I guess we're going to have to get on to the back of it now. So I'm out here in my garage and I took the dryer vent hose off, and now if you look at the back, there's screws, these panels, these screws all the way around. I'm going to take this one off first, take a look at that stop switch, test that, see what's up, and go from there and go around the bottom or the sides and top and take these screws off, exposing this panel, and we'll see what's going on there. I'm doing this with one hand, guys, filming, so just dropping these off. See, I got this kind of socket on it. See, if you don't have one of these, you can use a regular socket wrench. So I'm just going around. I want to get this panel off. Don't lose these screws. I'm dropping them because I'm doing this with one hand. I'm just going around. Okay, I just took that one out, and now let's flip this down and see what's going on in here. Alright, there's the switch I want to test. And this is the timer. Mess with that later. If it's a timer or the motor, forget it. They're too expensive. I'm just going to get a new dryer. Let's take this off and see. First, I want to unhook these connections. They're little clips that might have to get a little plier. So I did have to get a little needle nose plier. I got that one off. I'm just kind of grabbing it right here in front of it. But you got to be really careful. You don't want to break this clip. Then you have to put a new one on the wire. Wow. It was really on there. Alright, I was able to do it. I had to put the phone down. But remember which wire goes where. I think negative, and maybe this is the positive. So I got to remember that. Okay, so I got that off. And now I'm going to come around the front. And you got to pull that knob off of there so we can get this thing out of here. This is a little unusual if this is the problem. Usually it would be a thermal fuse or something down in here. So let's get this out of here. I believe on some models, this screw and that screw can be done on the front, and then this thing just folds forward and you get to the stuff underneath. But this one I had to take the panel off. So now this thing looks like it has some type of a tab here. It comes out. Let's see if we can get this out. Got the tab undone, and then this just turns to the right and comes out. See? Now time to test it. Okay, in order to do this, you need a multimeter. This is a real cheap multimeter I got from Harbor Freight. And what we want to test for is to make sure there's continuity in this circuit from here to here. Continuity means a continuous electrical current. So what you're going to do set this to the lowest, I forget what they call that, lowest resistant ohms. I'm not sure. And then you turn it on and see how it starts at a 1. And then you're going to calibrate it. And you see when you touch these together, there's continuity. That thing, the needle is moving. And that's what we want when we touch the circuit. Okay, so if this needle doesn't move, that's this multimeter, when I touch these 2 pins, which it's not, it's dead. Try the other way. It's hard to do with one hand, guys. It really is. Okay, that needle didn't move that way either, and I even pushed the button in because I don't know if there's an open and closed, you know, if that opens and closes the circuit or not, but either way, that needle did not move. I think this is my problem already. If it is, that's great, easy fixed. So let me see how much the part is. Okay guys, before I take that part up to the appliance store, I wanted to show you the back of the dryer, some other things that could be wrong. I can't remember what they're all called, but this is a thermal fuse. There's another thing you can test. You got, I think one of these is a high-low limit fuse or temperature switch. You got this one, the actual heating elements right here, and then you have another fuse or switch up here. So I think I'm going to test a couple of these. All you got to do, you're supposed to take the parts off and then test them with a multimeter. I'm going to take this thermal fuse off because I know this goes bad a lot. I took the clips off the wire and I'm using a 1/4 inch nut driver to get this screw out. And this just kind of comes right out. So I might have another problem here too. This thermal fuse, I put the 2 wires on and it still didn't change. But I know this multimeter is working because I've put it on a couple of these other switches and it's giving me a reading. So, alright guys, so I'm back from the parts store and I was right. There was some more problems. Yes, the start switch was bad, the thermal fuse was bad, and the heating element, even though it was heating up, the frame like was broken and it was kind of like grounding out, I guess, which in turn caused that thermal fuse to blow. That's what they were telling me. So, and this is the door switch. I took that off just to check, but you know this is good because if you can hear it, it's clicking. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to put that back on. I wish I would have shown you how to take some of this other stuff off, but maybe you can see me put it back on. Okay, so here's the door switch, which just sometimes cause it not to be able to come on. And this is simple. This just goes down in here, and there's 2 screws that go up underneath, and then it clips into that plug outlet right there. So I'm going to put that on. You can see that door switch. The 2 screws just go up underneath and tighten. And it's working. I shouldn't have took that off, but wanted to make sure. And then this plug just plugs in together. Alright, now I'm going to push this part back through. Click that in and hook that up. And these little clips that just push right on. They went on a lot easier when they came off. Okay, take the button and push that back on. Okay, and I just lined this up underneath those tabs and put this panel back on, line up the screw holes. So I'm just tightening these back on. Let's go around, I got them started already. Now I'm going to take my new thermal fuse. All that does is slip down and kind of sit in there. And then you take your plugs and, well, actually before I do that I need to screw it down. I'm doing this because it's plastic with my little 1/4 inch hand one. Okay, and we push these on. That's on. Now to the part I didn't show you earlier when I took the heating element out. Doing this with one hand. The way this goes in is, if you can see, you just kind of push it up in there and line up. There's a screw hole here and a screw hole here that you tighten down, and then that element's sitting in there. So just tightening that screw down nice and tight. And then the other side nice and tight. Boy, I'm pretty much showing you everything to a dryer right now. So now the part, move this so you can see. Now these two wires here, they clip into this. There's one here. If I can line that up, pushes on. And this one, hope you can see, is pushes on. And then you're going to take this, some type of thermostat, I can't remember, you're going to bolt it on right here. So if you can see what I'm doing, I actually have a socket wrench. I'm just tightening these two screws down in there. This one and this one. So I don't care what some of these parts are called. As long as they test good, that's for the parts guy to know what it's called. Just tightening them now, nice and snug. If you got a better way of doing all this, I don't care. You can keep your comments to yourself, like I always say. This is how I'm doing it. You know, make your own video. Okay, so this just slips over that tube that the vent is at, and then I'm just going around and I'm putting the screws back in. I don't have to show you that, I don't think. I'm just putting it around. This piece slips in that hole like that. Come on. Turns, and we're going to tighten it in right there. All right, not bad. So it's all back together. Now I'm going to put it back in the laundry room. Before I do that, I'm going to take a leaf blower and blow this out. And I'm going to blow out my venting system in the laundry room, because it was built, this house was built where it goes straight up through the roof, which is ridiculous, just so that it could be inside the house, I guess. And that causes a lot of lint buildup, because I think that might be what caused this fuse to blow. Possibly lint in there. So let's go do that and then test it out. So I got it back in the laundry room, and don't forget to put your two screws back in here and your vent screen. All right, now it's time for the test. Got the timer on. Right. Sounds good. I got the vent hose hooked up. Now, just make sure it's getting hot. Oh yeah, beautiful, already warm. All right, guys, there you go. Easy fix. I didn't have to go buy a new dryer, thank goodness. Like I said, if you have a better way of doing it, that's great, good for you. But I hope that helped a little bit for some of you out there. All right, be careful. Have a good day. Bye.